Player injuries. Honestly, I don't know what's going on. The schedule is really tight. We have a short bench, and I can't change the lineup often. The nightmare season with injuries for Madrid players continues. After the Champions League match, a few more key players are out. Not just Mbappe, but also one of the team leaders. What's going on? Why are there so many injuries? Who's really to blame? Today, we'll figure it out. Stay tuned for more in this video. The starting lineup for Madrid in the match against Atalanta was a bit surprising. Tchouaméni started again in the center of defense, while Raul Asensio stayed on the bench. On top of that, there's a lot of criticism directed at Vasquez, and we'll talk about that too. I don't get why the hell he didn't put Asensio in. Tchouaméni and Vasquez on the backline is a pretty big risk for the game. Having Vasquez in the lineup feels like Madrid is playing with 10 men, and leaving Asensio on the bench is a huge mistake by the coach. In the first half hour of the game, Mbappe was the center of attention. He had two great chances in the first minute and a little later, but in both cases, the Frenchman couldn't get past the Atalanta goalkeeper. But on the 10th minute, Brahim made a sneaky pass, and Mbappe showed how he can really play. And before celebrating his goal in his signature style, check out the gesture Mbappe made. That's a gesture from Ronaldo, remember. By the way, that's Mbappe's 50th goal in the Champions League. He jumped into the top 10 scorers of the tournament. The top is still a long way off. That's where Ronaldo is with his 141 goals. But Mbappe has caught up to Henry in goals. Check out Henry's reaction when they showed him that photo. Wow, that's incredible, the Frenchman said in the studio. Then there was a substitution for Mbappe. He suddenly sat down on the grass. Rodrigo came on for him in the first half. We'll talk more about Mbappe's injuries later. He has a slight overload, some discomfort in the back of his thigh. We'll see in the next few days. It doesn't seem like anything serious, but he stopped because he couldn't sprint. That was a bit of a hindrance. We decided to substitute him. This crucial Champions League game was won, of course, by Vini Jr. He came back from his injury sooner than expected. He wanted it himself and really helped a lot. At first, the defenders gave him a chance to score. Brazil executed the shot perfectly at the start of the second half, and he already has 10 goals in the last 8 matches for Madrid. That's really cool. Overall, this season Vini Jr. has 13 goals and 7 assists in 19 matches. Did you see that assist from Vini Jr? That's unbelievable. He dropped back to his half of the field to get the ball from Courtois and then passed it to Jude. Check out Vini Jr.'s heat map. It's something magical from the Brazilian, especially during such a tough moment for the team. He's everywhere. He's like Pac-Man. He covered the whole field and gobbled up everything. We're just starting to unlock this team's potential. I still believe she has a lot of levels to grow. Jude has 6 goals in the last 7 matches for Madrid. We've already talked about how awesome it is that our former attacker Jude is back. But there's some bad news. Watch this video all the way to the end. Madrid beat Atalanta, but I totally agree with you. It was really tough. Courtois had to let in 2 goals. Also, in the very last minute of the match, we could have lost the win. We would have had a completely different vibe today. Well, Lugman, the best player of the match, was written about in the public. And that could be the case because he's the guy who plays left wing for Atalanta. He scored a goal and was really good in this match. I'm looking at the player ratings in the Madrid fans app. You'll find the link in the video description. Also, download it. And I see that Vasquez was one of the worst on the field in the Madrid squad. He let Lugman get away with too much. If we have any plans to win trophies this season, Vasquez can't be our starting right back. It's simple. Vasquez deservedly can do nothing against Lugman. Vasquez should not play as a right back against top players or top teams. He just can't defend. Vini Jr. and Jude were the best players in the match, but Carlos slightly surprised everyone when he singled out another player in the Madrid squad at the press conference. Today, I would highlight Ceballos. He played an excellent game. I really liked it. He was fantastic. And a good comment right away about that. One player who has really stepped up is Ceballos. This guy is becoming the new Casemiro. Who would have thought that Ceballos could be this useful? Now Madrid has 9 points after the win against Atalanta. This is not yet a guaranteed place in the Champions League playoffs, but there are still 2 matches ahead against Salzburg and Brest. Let's be honest, these are not the strong opponents we have left, and everything will be just fine for us. Give this video a thumbs up if you feel the same way. We want to get 15 points, and then we'll see what happens next. Game after game, everything is going as it should. Each of us is doing our part. Let them talk at the end. It's just the beginning. Now we need to talk about a specific issue, a big problem this season. The number of injured players and the ongoing injuries. For example, Rodrigo has already missed 5 matches this season and has been injured twice. The last few weeks have been tough for me. I didn't get injured like this last season. And now Mbappe is getting his second injury of the season. It doesn't seem serious, but we might lose him for this weekend. Now think about it. Madrid has had over 30 injuries this season. It's like a real curse. Why is this happening? I can read the thoughts of Madrid fans on social media. Carlo has issues with substitutions. He needs to rotate the players more often. Now that Mbappe is injured, maybe you'll give Endrick a chance. I'll tell you what's going on. Playing every 3 days can only lead to one thing: injuries. Only teams with a deep roster can find a way to play and rotate players, and Madrid doesn't have that. And here's another terrible piece of news. Jude was substituted in the match against Atalanta due to an injury. He was holding his hamstring. We need to protect Jude at all costs. I hope it's not serious. Please let him rest in the next game if he's not feeling too well. We can't afford to risk anyone again. Injuries are becoming a concern. Since last season, it's been injury after injury. You can play your part as a coach by rotating more. Mbappe also spoke about injuries in a recent big interview. In the NBA, they get 4 months off, while we only have 15 days, and by the second week, you're already back to running. This is not a vacation. That's very true. In the future, UEFA and FIFA will be blamed for the overuse of players when implementing new football strategies. It's just a matter of time. So, let's wrap it up and figure out why Madrid has so many injuries this season. The first reason that Carlo talks about, that the players talk about, is that the schedule is very complicated and overloaded and the players simply don't have time to recover. The second reason that we, the fans, talk about is that Carlo doesn't rotate the squad well. Yes, our bench is not that deep, but nevertheless, even in those matches when it seemed necessary to make substitutions, Carlo does not always make them. And so, the key players who play a lot just can't recover in time. And finally, the third reason we shouldn't forget about is looking at this guy, the fitness coach Pintus, and whether he's doing everything right or if he's overloading our key players in training, which leads to them not being able to keep up in matches. All these muscle injuries could really be due to a poor training process. Please write in the comments what you think about this. I think all three of these reasons are interconnected when it comes to why Madrid players are getting injured. Moreover, I also agree with those who think that we really don't have enough players to handle such a tough season. We need more players in January so that we can compete for all the trophies. We need money to invest in new players so that Carlo has a choice of quality performers. Share your thoughts in the comments. I read them all. And we're moving on in the season, and this weekend we have a match in La Liga. I have no doubt about a confident victory over Rayo Vallecano. We have to win. We need to be at the top of the La Liga standings. We're still fighting for all the trophies this season. Madrid wins, and we win too. It's nice, isn't it? The promo code you see on the screen will triple your deposit. Quick, click the link in the pinned comment to grab it, and let's play for Madrid win. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, give this video a thumbs up, and leave your comments. Thank you for your attention, and goodbye.